Stacy Franklin here with Artisan Design Concepts. I had someone ask me if I could help figure out how to recreate this look using epoxy. So what I've done is I created a sample board using the same process I do for every single project. And that is I create the sample board and I record myself talking to myself, not really talking to the camera, but recording every single thing I do so I'm able to replicate it. So I'm going to walk you through this step by step and you can decide how close I got. Okay, I fogged the board with French blue, stone gray, and some white and champagne mist. I have 8 ounces of art coat and I have white metallic from Stone Coat. I have dry ice from Marble Wrap and gunmetal from Stone Coat. I'm going to use just a little of that gunmetal because it's really an accent on here. And more of the metallic white. Little left over to figure out what I want to do with that if I need to adjust any colors. A little of that blue in here. I just want to see what that'll look like. Just kind of in the background. The rest of it looks like I'd have to come up on top of it. Possibly. You can see. I'm just going to put a little of it. Just want to see what that looks like blended in. Because it looks like there's even some of that blue that's kind of undertone as well. Just want a soft blend for the background. So I'll have to let it settle for a while. And still more white. It's kind of a lot of bright white throughout. Okay, I'm going to test out a couple theories here. I do need to let this set up for a little while so I can do part of it, but I'm going to try using spray paint mixed in with some of the epoxy on the surface here and dragging my stick across. So for instance, some of it has like a little French beige look to it. So I'm just going to scoop up a little epoxy here. Just kind of spread this out. I don't know if I do need to wait until the next day to do this because I'm going to need to hit it with some alcohol, I think. But I want to see what it'll do. I also have the heat gun set up to try to move it around. think this will create a good background, but I think I do need to wait till the next day and put it over clear. So I'm just going to blend this into a couple spots. I actually like blending that in. It looks really a lot like the background. I do want to blend in some of that blue though, because I think that it'll look good blended in now versus later. Maybe even a bit of this. No, that's too dark. Rose gold. Kind of just mixing that in with the white on my table, just to give this some spots of this while I blend it in the background a little. Yeah, I think that'll actually work. I think we need a little less of that blue, a little bit more white. I kind of want to try to see what that white area would look like. The sample still looks a little bit whiter, almost like it needs some more of the metallic white in there, which I don't have any more of. But I think even maybe tomorrow, the second coat, I can do a tiny bit of the white and translucent, like really, really light, just to create kind of like a see-through, foggy type look, similar to what I'm seeing here. I think it's a really good start. But for it to stay up on top and kind of create those little fractures, I think it needs to be the second day. Otherwise, I can try to get some of this to kind of set up on my table and then do it like I do my drips, but I just think it'd be better to wait. I think I'll add a little more of this white, like right here, and I'm gonna hit it with a little alcohol so that way I can come over it tomorrow. So I'm just squirting a little bit of the alcohol around the spray paint lines just to make them get a little squiggly. I am curious if create some of this like rose gold that's undertone. This one, this one. I'm gonna put it in with some of my leftover epoxy. So a little bit of this rose gold, and a little bit of white. That looks like that corner there. That works nice. So letting it set up a little bit, and then using the spray paint on the table is doing what I would think it would do, which is good. Just gonna fracture it a little just to break it kind of apart and create a background. As much as I want to keep working on it, I think it's better to wait. All right, that's good for day one. Okay, I sanded, ready for the next step. I have 6 ounces of art coat, and I'm thinking that I'm going to do a very, very translucent white in some areas and clear kind of in the rest. So I'm gonna see how this works out. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of white Alumilite dye, just a drop, and see how far that gets me in this little cup. If I need it to be lighter, I'll just pour it in a bigger cup and dilute it a bit more. I really want to be able to see through it. Even that drop was a lot for this size cup. I kind of want to really see. Actually, it might be all right. So I'm gonna pour that in some areas where I feel like it needs some brightening. So I can kind of see through it and see the undertones. It still might need to be even more translucent than that, but if I spread it kind of thin in those areas, I think it'll be okay. And then I'll do clear in the areas that I want to add the veins that look 3D. But even pushing this kind of around super thin isn't so bad. Okay, so I'm gonna pour one more cup of, not even a full cup, but, and do a little more of that white. Maybe a slightly bigger dot, a little more opaque, just in a couple spots. So I'm gonna use the rest of what's in my cup first and kind of push it around where I want the clear to go, fill that in, blend it with that translucent white. I'll take some of this white, just in a couple spots where I think it needs a little brightness. Here, just gonna blend that in. So it's a little bit more opaque, but not super opaque. And I may move this around with my heat gun just to make it a soft transition.
perfect. I like that balance of the white in there. Okay, so now I am going to try to create those veins with the rose gold and regular gold. I'm actually going to use a little of that white just on the table. I'll spray some of the white or the rose gold into it, and some of the bright gold. And then I'm just going to kind of gently mix it on my table. I'll kind of pull it through here. Actually worked well. Let's see what it does with some alcohol. I like that too. I'm gonna try a small little drizzle here. You can use like the leftover clear, you know, whatever you have, just make a little extra, but, or just wait for it to drip off, but for the essence of time. I just sprayed some on my stick here. I'm just gonna run it through with that gold and maybe a little of that rose gold, but just on my stick. Let's see what that does together. Might use a heat gun to move these around, but we'll see. And this one too, just to break it up, because I think it needs some white spray paint next to it. For these bigger areas in the photo, I think the best bet is using the epoxy on the table, just using a little leftovers. I'm going to spray some white spray paint. A little bit of gold, shake it, and that rose gold. And then sort of mix it up, grab it here, and just move it where you want it to go. You can add more. I think once we torch this, it's going to look awesome. Just add some more of that color to the top of it if you want. A little of the gold in there. And then if we hit it with a bit of alcohol, it'll break it up just like the photo. Yeah. This area has just white and rose gold. So I'll use a little of this white, rose gold, and some white spray paint. And I'm using the white spray paint because it does something different than just the white epoxy. When we torch it, when we use alcohol. But I'm doing this off the table because I want it to just sit on top. Just a little bit of alcohol there. We have some white lines coming this way. So again, you can just do that with the white spray paint. and some white epoxy. I do want to try to move this one around a bit. It's a little too gold. It needs to be a little more of a rose gold, but it's kind of a nice hint. I might just do a little white. Kind of along this edge, like it shows in the picture, and then blend the rest over it. Let's see, so I need kind of a little line this way. Looks like right going to the side of this white area. So if I take a little of the white, a little of white spray paint, and a hint of that gold, maybe just a little rose gold. Fade it out. Okay, with just a hint of alcohol. And I think I'll try some just white spray paint. Plain. Let's see, where do I want that? I think I need a little more rose gold up here though. I feel like it still needs alcohol just to help break it up and kind of create that selling effect that it looks like in this photo. Just don't add too much, just a little bit. I was thinking heat gun, but now I'm really reconsidering. I think that I don't need it. The only thing I would do now is add some of those brighter white, like fracture lines. So I'm gonna take the rest of the white epoxy and I'm gonna add some white spray paint to it. Yes, I could add more dye, but I really just like the way that the spray paint kind of works together. And actually I'm gonna get a smaller stick. So break it off so that way it's just tiny. And then just kind of run those lines where you see them or where you want them. So adding a little white there was perfect, so I can redo this section. It was just a little too much. So I'm going to use a little on my table of the rose gold. Where are you? A little bit of the regular gold. Into white. Let's get this up. Go in this direction here. Just adding a little rose gold on my stick. Adding a hint of the bright gold in there. And then the white. Use the pointy end of the stick and just kind of keep making a couple little lines that I just want to stand out. You can wait and do this after it sets up a little more too, so it stays put, but I kind of want it to move a little and make it look more natural.